Yo, peace was good. Welcome to my CD collection. It's part 42. I know it's been like a month since I've done one, but better late than never. Did a big CD haul back in a couple of weeks ago, and I ordered some CDs from overseas. So I was just waiting for that before I actually started doing this video. So without further ado, show you guys a couple of CDs I bought. All right, I got the Herbaliser, very Mercenary, released in 1999. Herbaliser, they're a hip hop. Well, they're a producer duo from England. They're known for their they're known for their trip hop kind of style. They're known as hip hop producers, but I kind of put them like in the trip hop box in a sense. I hate to put that word box, but they're known for doing more trip hop. Very big in the whole Ninja Tune movement back in the 90s and stuff like that. If you guys are familiar with Ninja Tune, cats like DJ Food, people like that, and then you guys should be familiar with Ninja Tune. But yeah, very dope album. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard of these guys before, but I wasn't really familiar with their music, so I was like, I found this at a thrift store at Salvation Army. I copped. I was like, oh, Herbaliser. I'm like, I've heard of these guys, and I saw Ninja Tune, so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm definitely gonna pick it up, and I wasn't disappointed. I actually liked it. You got people like What, aka a Panty B Fly, dope Queens MC from Queens, or Femc if you want to say it like that. Bahamadia, dope MC from Philly. She was affiliated with the whole Gangster Foundation. Definitely need to get her first two albums, BB Queen and Collage. Definitely need to get my hands on that. Blade, dope UK MC legendary MC from the UK. The Dream Warriors from Canada, dope group. What again, or A Penny Be Fly, and Roots Maneuver, dope MC from UK as well. Yeah, that nigga he puts in work. He's dope. His newer stuff I'm not really too keen on. I heard some of his new stuff. I don't really care for it too much, but his early stuff from like the 90s to like the early 2000s, yeah, I fucks with. But all my UK has know what I'm talking about. Yep. But the Herbaliser, very Mercenary, released in 1999. I believe this is the third album if I'm not mistaken. All right. That's right here. Then we got Korn's third album. Oh, my bad, came off, whatever. But this is not the edited version. This is the the dirty version. But anyways, Korn, Follow the Leader, released in 1998. This album came out in a time period back in 1998 where nu metal was big back in the day. Back around like 98, 99. Even somewhat. Give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, this album came out around the time like where 98, 99, back in 98, 99, where nu metal was pretty big back then. It was really out there. Like that's where everybody, like that was like the most popular thing right now. You know how like right now EDM is big right now. That's how nu metal was back in the day. You couldn't like, if you watched MTV at that time, you could not escape nu metal. That's how popping it was, and these guys were like the pinnacle of that genre. Groups like Korn, Rage Against the Machine, people like that, and and I believe Rage Against the Machine came out with an album that same year. I think it was 98 or 99. I think it was called In the Battle of Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is their third album. In a nutshell, it's not really my favorite album from them. I thought it was a little bit too commercial for my taste, in my opinion. Some people like this album. A lot of people like this album. Me personally, I didn't really care for it too much. Like I said, a little bit too commercial for my taste. I prefer the first two. Their self-titled album, Korn, their first album, and Life is Peachy, which I used to have, but I gave it to my cousin. So I definitely need to get my hands on that album again. But yeah, Korn, Follow the Leader, released in 1998. Pick it up. If you guys like nu metal, that type of shit. Oh, and Limp Bizkit too at that time too. Korn, Follow the Leader. Although Limp Bizkit, they didn't really get big until like '99 when it came out with their with their Significant Other album. This is a very dope album, by the way. Then we got Miles Davis, his very last album that he ever released, Doo Bop, released in 1991. Yeah, this album right here, very, very, very dope. Easy Mo B did all the beats on this album. You know, at that time, and it's funny because the song playing in the background is Shades of Black, featuring Rakim, of that album, of that movie, Pump Your Fist, Panther. It sounds like came out in '85. That beat you hear right now, that's the Easy Mo Beef track, and you know he produced that track. But anyways, getting back to this shit right here, you know, at the time Miles Davis, he wanted to, you know, kind of like adapt with the sounds at that time. You talk about 1991, excuse me. So you know, he wanted to see who was the biggest, you know, producer at the time, or you know, that was popping. And Easy Mo B, around 91, 92, I mean, he wasn't really that popular. Like he was known, but he wasn't really out there like that. But I guess he's found something about Easy Mo B that he liked, and you know, they worked together. He did the whole album together. It's unfortunate that he passed away. I guess it's the last song that he did with, but this is a classic album. I highly recommend it. For fans of early 90s hip hop, you'll definitely enjoy this album. If you guys like, you know, I was like Jasmine Taz by Guru, like specifically the first one. If you like stuff like brand new heavies, or you know, people stuff like that, or early Roots album, you'll definitely enjoy this album right here. Very, very, very dope. I highly recommend Diggable Planets, you know, shit like that. But Miles Davis Doo Bop, released in 1992. Pick it up. Then we got Miles Davis Kinda Blue, released in 1959, excuse me. Very, 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 very great album. Type of album that, you know, you on a date or some shit, like you on your grown man shit, you know, you just like, you know, you and your wife, you know, go out to like a nice expensive dinner, you know, you about to drink wine, whatever, you know, you eat, you know, you go to an expensive Italian restaurant, you pop this in the background, you know, you talk about the good times you guys had, and then you do what you guys gotta do, you know what I mean? But yeah, Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, very, very dope, classic album. A lot of producers sampled off this album, so yeah, Kinda Blue, definitely pick it up. Alright. This next batch of CDs I got from from a CD lot off eBay. Glad to own it, you know what I mean? Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Yeah. These batch of CDs I got from a CD lot off eBay. So definitely am proud of having this shit in my collection. Alright. Excuse me. And this album is Professor Griff's first album. Everybody know who Professor Griff, you know, he was part of Public Enemy at one point. Well, he still is now because he got kicked out, but then he got back into the group back in the late 90s or whatever. But yeah, it's his first album, Pawns in the Game, released in 1990. Very, very dope album. Love the production on this album. By the way, before I get into that, the thing with Professor Griff that people gotta know is that he is like, he's an acquired taste of some. Like, you know, like once you hear one Professor Griff album, you've heard them all. Just to give you guys a heads up, because like, you know, a lot of the subject matter talks about a lot of, you know, police brutality, a lot of black awareness, you know, shit like that. You know, he's part of the Nation of Islam, so you're gonna hear a lot of Islamic references, you know, Nation of Islam, you know, 5%er type stuff, you know what I mean? Even though Nation of Islam and 5%er, you know, they're not really the same, you know what I mean? They kind of have different views. That's a whole different topic, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, very dope album. The production on this album It's very, very dope. I like it a lot. I highly recommend it. Professor Griff, like I said before, his style is like, if you guys are familiar with Last Poets, that's the perfect example I could give you guys of his style, because he raps, but he mostly does a lot of spoken word over beats, if that makes sense. So some people might not be too keen on that, you know what I mean? Like even myself, like I wasn't too crazy about it. It took me a while to get used to. Like I said, you have to really be into that kind of stuff to like really get into, to really enjoy his music. But you know, the beats definitely helped. But this is a very dope album. I highly recommend it. You can find this album. A lot of his albums are out of print, so if you can find it, definitely pick it up. Pawns in the Game, Professor Griff and the Last Disciples, the last 8 Asiatic Disciples, kind of like Diamond D with the Psychotic Neurotics. That's what I got that from. But yeah, very dope album. And then this is a single, Jail Cell. This is his single from his second album, Chaos to Wisdom, which came out in '91. This is just a single, whatever. Then, speaking of his second album, Chaos to Wisdom, released in 1991. Overall, this album was okay. The production on this album was kind of. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah. The production on this album is kind of mediocre in my opinion. It was, I don't know, it just wasn't like out there. Like it wasn't like the first album where like the beats were kind of like in your face type of stuff. It kind of reminded me a little bit like the first time. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted. That's what I got out of that. But yeah, Chaos to Wisdom, I could have done. I mean, it was okay. Definitely one of his weakest albums in my opinion. Didn't really care for this album too much, just based on the production. But you know, the shit that he talks about is, you know, is real shit. It's just like the production didn't really help this album, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Chaos to Wisdom, released in '91. Then we got Professor Griff's third album, Disturbing the Peace, released in 1990. I think, is it? No, Disturbing the Peace, released in 1992. By far his best album, in my opinion. Raw, gritty, dark beats. That's what I love about this album. I believe the single off this album is Black Draft. There was a single off this album. Yeah, Black Draft was a single off the album. Very, very, very dope. Very dark, gritty beats. Love this album. Definitely his best album in his whole discography. Definitely dope. Highly recommend it. If you can find this album, definitely pick it up. Then we got Professor Griff's single, The Old Bitch You Worries. The Old Bitch You Worries. This was a single of his fourth album, Blood of the Prophets. Yeah, Blood of the Prophet, which is coming up next. Yeah, that's it. It's just a single of the album. Then Professor Griff, Blood of the Prophet, released in 1998. Very disappointed with this album. Wasn't too crazy about it. You know, again, the production wasn't that good, in my opinion. It's just kind of lackluster for me. I got kind of bored with it. I'm not gonna lie to you about this album, but just glad to own the album. Like I said, like for you to really appreciate Professor Griff, like you have to really be into like Public Enemy. If you like Public Enemy, you'll definitely enjoy this album. But even Public Enemy stuff is a lot better than a lot of Professor Griff's stuff. Not to shit on Professor Griff, but like I said, his style is kind of like very, I don't know, very hard to take. You know, it's like it's an acquired taste. But yeah, could have done without this album, but glad to own it. Then we got his side group, Confrontation Camp. This is a group that was, you know, one of Chuck D's side projects as well as Professor Griff. It's like a hip hop rock group, you know, like kind of like I guess like a Rage Against the Machine type of style, but a lot more harder in a sense. But yeah, very dope. I highly recommend. This is very, very fucking dope. Chuck D, Professor Griff did their thing. Mostly Chuck D delivers. You know, if you guys are familiar with Chuck D, with their collaborations with Anthrax, you know, people like that, Biohazard. I think they did stuff with Biohazard. I'm not sure, but I know they did stuff with Anthrax back in the '80s and early '90s, if I'm mistaken. But yeah, very, very dope. In the late '80s, excuse me, not late '80s, early '90s. Very, very, very dope. If you like that kind of shit, then you'll definitely enjoy this shit right here. Confrontation Camp released in 2000. Eyes in the mirror are closer than they appear. Dope. Then, last but not least, in the Professor Griff series, is his last album that he put out in 2001. It's called "And the Word Became Flesh." Dope title, very dope. The production on this album a lot better compared to Blood of the Prophet. Very dope. He uses a lot of in this album he uses a lot of breaks, you know, a lot of breaks that you would hear on, like, you know, Dusty Fingers or like on you know, Ultimate Breakbeats and stuff like that. A lot of them that he used on it. But yeah, very dope album. Like I said, if you guys are familiar with Professor Griff, then you guys should know what he's about. He always talk about the Illuminati, black awareness, you know, police brutality or police corruption of the government, you know, all that good stuff, you know. Oh, not good, but you know what I mean. Let me tell you something I got left. Alright, try to free streets, dude. Alright. I'm telling you, I got a lot of shit. Then I got Kool D's, I believe this is his third album? I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest Kool D fan. But How You Like Me Now, released in 1987. The year I was born. And this is the OG copy. I don't know if they ever re-released it, but you can tell it's all beat up. It's all dated, you know, it's all kind of worn out, but glad to own it. Kool D. What can I say, man? Kool D, you know, legend in hip hop. But LL Cool J fucking ripped him a new asshole. LL Cool J is by far a better MC than Kool D. But I know one of my subscribers asked me, would I ever review a Kool D album? Well, I will review this album. I'll let you know what I think about it. So yeah, so hopefully this answers your question. I forgot your name. If I forgot, I apologize. Don't take it the wrong way, but I did thought about you, so I definitely picked it up. Kool D, How You Like Me Now, released in 1987. Then we got Big Daddy Kane's Long Live the Kane, released in 1988. I finally got my hands on this fucking album. Been trying to get this album for years. Yeah, now I finally got all of his albums. If you guys know about Big Daddy Kane, you know he's one of the illest MCs of all time. Part of the Juice Crew. Put out classics on top of classics on top of classics. You know, songs known for is like, you know, songs like Ain't No Half Steppin', Just Rhyming with Biz, Raw, Set It Off. Very, very dope album, man. Marl definitely did his thing on this album. Long Live the King by Big Daddy Kane, released 1988. Very dope. Then we got Marl, In Control, released in 1988. Another dope album by Marl. This is the 2009 edition, reissue, excuse me. Released by Traffic Entertainment. Traffic Entertainment, you guys need to put out more stuff, man. Y'all slipping. But anyways, glad to own this shit right here. Cause I've heard the album before, but I never owned a copy, so I got this shit for like $9.99. I think $7.99. No, I think $9.99 at FYE. So oh, I'm sorry. I've been wanting to show you guys this. Excuse me. With the Professor Griff whole CD lot that I got, this came with it. Excuse me. This shirt right here. My bad. This is the back. This is the front right here. Very, very dope. You know, you can tell this is like from the early '90s. You know, this is when, and you can tell because when you see Terminator X and Professor Griff, which you know, that was when they were, you know. So this came out, had it came out like around 1990 when Fear the Black Planet came out. So glad to own it. Forgot to show you guys that. My apologies. Now, back to Marl's album, In Control, very dope. Known for songs like Live Motivated by Tragic Gaddafi, The Symphony, classic posse cut, you know what I mean? What's cool about this album right here, you know, in the booklet, you hear Marl, you know, he describes each track. You know, he talks about how you know, he made the song and who was supposed to be on the album, who wasn't supposed to be on this song, you know, shit like that. Like pretty much like liner notes, and that's pretty dope. And I like when artists do that. I like when people do that shit. But yeah, Marl, Live, In Control, Volume 1, released 1988. I need to get a second one that came out in 91. Definitely a dope album as well. Then we got Digital Underground. This is the EP release, released in 1991. You know, Digital Underground, Bay Area hip hop group, you know, from Oakland, you know, known for their affiliate, well, known for putting out Tupac into the scene, you know what I mean? Because Tupac was running with Tupac at the time. The singles off this album, I believe, is Same Song, which they do have a video for. I think around this time they came out with their second album. I think it was called Sons of the P, which came out the same year in 91. I don't have that in my collection, but Digital Underground, this is an EP release, released in 1991. I don't know if this came out before Sons of the P or this came out after the album. Not sure. I'm pretty sure one of my subscribers will let me know down in the description. I'll look it up, but you know, feel free to, you know, put your 2 cents on that. But yeah, this is an EP release by Digital Underground, released in 1991. I got Organized Confusion playing in the background. Then we got Souls of Mischief, 93 Til Infinity, released in 1993. Classic album. Another dope group from Oakland. Another dope Bay Area group. Excuse me. Love my water. Anyways, getting back to that. Dope album. Known for singles like 92 Till Infinity, Never No More. Fucking love that song. There was another single they came up with. They have it on this album. I think it was That's When You're Lost. I think that was a single as well. They have a video for that. I know they had a video for 93 Till Infinity and Never No More. And I believe That's When You're Lost was a single as well. Don't quote me that. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, 93 Till Infinity, classic early 90s hip hop. Then we got Styles P, Super Gangster Extraordinary Gentleman, released in 2007. Very dope album. The production on this album, very dope. Definitely one of his best albums, because over the years Styles P's been hit and miss for me as far as like his albums, because you know, when he came out with A Gangster and a Gentleman, very dope album, and then, you know, over the years he came out with albums like Time Is Money, which wasn't really a good album. He definitely rushed that album. You know, that I think that was the album that came with that he came out with I'm Black and stuff like that, which I love that song, but the album overall wasn't that good. It was rushed. Excuse me. Ooh, that was good. But anyways, the album was definitely rushed, but this album right here was definitely a comeback from that bullshit album that I just mentioned. But yeah, very, very dope. I highly recommend it. Very dope. Definitely one of the best songs that came out in 2007. Styles P, Super Gangster Extraordinary Gentleman, released in 2007. Then let me see how much time I got left. Alright, I'm gonna cut it short. Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. I mean, stay tuned for the next part of the video. So I'm gonna have to do a part 2. Stay tuned. Peace.